Good afternoon, everybody. I'm Gren Schoch, the Chairman and Co-CEO of AirBoss. It's a privilege to welcome you to our Kitchener facility today. We're especially honored to host two leaders whose commitment to Ontario's economic growth and workforce development continues to make a lasting impact, Premier Ford and Minister Piccini. We're also pleased to welcome His Worship Barry Vrbanovic, Mayor of Kitchener, Karen Redmond, Regional Chair of Waterloo, and our local representatives, Minister Harris, MPP Dixon, MPP Riddell. Thank you for joining us and for your continued support of our region and its workforce. Premier Ford, Minister Piccini, thank you for being here and for your government's unwavering support of the Ontario manufacturing sector. The Skills Development Fund is a powerful investment in our province's future, including AirBosses. We are deeply grateful for your leadership in expanding access to this vital resource. At AirBoss, we believe our people are our greatest strength. The funding we received enabled us to enhance training programs, attract and retain top talent, and ensure our workforce is equipped with the skills needed to thrive in a rapidly evolving industry. As an example of this, our state-of-the-art VR forklift training simulator. This is not just an investment in our company, it's an investment in the lives and careers of hundreds of Ontarians, including many new Canadians who are proud to call this facility their workspace. We are proud to be an Ontario-made manufacturer with a team of over 350 skilled workers right here in Kitchener, producing hundreds of millions of pounds of rubber annually for critical sectors such as automotive, healthcare, infrastructure, and quite importantly, defense, as you can see from the various products around us. Our Defense Division is truly unique as it's focused on equipment that will protect our bravest men and women in uniform. Minister Piccini, your support through this funding has empowered us to build a stronger, more resilient workforce. Thank you for recognizing the value of our team and for helping us grow Ontario's innovation economy. Premier Ford, your vision for a competitive, self-reliant Ontario inspires us. We are honored to contribute to that vision and grateful for your continued support. Thank you both, and thank you to everyone for being here and being part of this exciting journey. I will now pass it over to Mayor Vrbanovic to share a few remarks.
Well, thank you so much, Gren, and it is absolutely wonderful to be here with you. I know Chris, who's part of the team, isn't here, but we have all these incredible AirBoss members who are here, and your company and your leadership has really showed your commitment to your employees, to your community, and to your company. Premier, Minister Piccini, thank you both for being here today as well. You have an excellent team representing the government here in Kitchener and throughout Waterloo Region. And if I can use your words, our local minister, Mike Harris, he's a champ in terms of all of his support. And of course, PA Jess Dixon and MPP Brian Riddell do an incredible job of representing your government here in our community. Today's announcement falls the day after Labor Day, which is appropriate as your government works to invest in the workers of tomorrow as we protect Ontario's economy. Today marks an important day for our community, the City of Kitchener, and all of Waterloo Region. And I'm proud to stand here today with my colleagues and Chair Redmond, who's here, as we celebrate a bold investment in the people, the industries, and the future of our community by your government. Premier Ford and the government, thank you for your investment of over $12.9 million through the Skills Development Fund training stream, a commitment that will help more than 50,000 residents in our region gain the skills they need to thrive in high-demand sectors like construction, manufacturing, skilled trades, education, and health innovation. And I know a number of those companies are here in our community. Today is really about more than just a funding announcement. It's a declaration of confidence in our workforce and a recognition of the resilience and ingenuity that define Kitchener and Waterloo Region. Whether you're a student just starting out, a worker looking to upskill, or an employer seeking talent, this investment opens doors to opportunity and stability. We know that global economic pressures, such as the recent U.S. tariffs, can shake local economies. But today's announcement sends a clear message. Ontario is standing strong with its workers. The province is ensuring that the people of this area have the tools to adapt, grow, and succeed, no matter what challenges come our way. Let me be clear, today is not just about jobs. It's about dignity, security, and the promise of a better tomorrow. It's about building a Kitchener where everyone, regardless of their background or circumstances, has the opportunity to contribute, to grow, and to succeed. So on behalf of our community, a heartfelt thank you to you, Premier, and all those who made this investment possible. Together, we're building a stronger, more competitive Ontario, and Kitchener's proud to be at the heart of that vision. And now I'd like to turn it over to another key part of the Premier's team here in the region, someone who I just introduced, the PA to Education and MPP, Jess Dixon.
Thank you so much, Mayor Barry, and thank you to everyone coming on this beautiful day, and to all of our wonderful AirBoss employees who are making just a absolutely beautiful show of support right here. I was thinking on my way here, I love where we are right now. I love that we're outside, not just because of the nice weather, because when you look at the building behind me, you really can't go anywhere in Kitchener or Cambridge particularly without seeing copious evidence of our trade and manufacturing history. From the 19th century throughout the early 20th century, this region, more than many others, frankly, in Ontario, was a center of excellence for manufacturing, design, trades, etc., whether it was textiles, mills, furniture, electronics, breweries. We had legions back then of a lot of German and Scottish immigrants that brought their skills here, trained their descendants, trained others, and made this region what it is, which is even to today, I think roughly 17% of our local economy is based on manufacturing, which is much higher than the provincial average. So when you look at this incredibly exciting announcement and what it's bringing to the region, I view it as carrying on what is already our provincial legacy of excellence in this area, which I'm proud to say, I think for the most part, we have carried on in a largely unbroken train, but with the support of Premier Ford and Minister Piccini, we are doing even more now to create that excellence. And our history of immigration and innovation and teaching and learning and expanding is only going to continue. And what I think is so exciting about this, and which I know that Premier Ford and Minister Piccini have been so focused on, is how much this also supports this idea of sort of patriation and repatriation of what it is to be Canadian-made, Canadian-designed, Ontario-made, Ontario-designed, and that includes our labour force and their excellence. So I am so appreciative to the government for, like Mayor Barry said, sort of our vote of confidence in this region. I have absolute confidence that after 200 plus years of doing it right and doing it better than many other places, that we will continue to do that. So thank you all so much for coming, and it is my pleasure to introduce Minister Harris.
Well, I'm going to keep it quick because it's a little warm out here, and for those of us in wool suits, you can feel bad, but these guys have been standing out here waiting for a little while. So I'm going to pull a page from the boss, and I'm going to go a little off script here, if that's all right. So, listen, thank you everybody for being here today. It is absolutely incredible to have Team Kitchener, Team Waterloo Region assembled here, and to welcome the Premier and Minister Piccini. David has been a huge, huge supporter of Waterloo Region since becoming Minister of Labour Training, Immigration and Skills Development. We've brought SDF funding into the region before. I see some folks from the IBEW who have been recipients of it, and it's great to be able to see some more homegrown organizations taking advantage of this funding. As Barry said, a little over $12 million is going to be spread across many different organizations here in the region, and it's just incredible to be able to use the talent, the tools, and everything we do here in Waterloo Region. As Jess said, we do everything just a little bit better, I like to think. And we're such a forward-thinking region. There's such a rich history of manufacturing here, and it's just great to be able to celebrate this investment throughout the region here today. So I won't take up too much more time than that. All I wanted to do was just thank you, Premier Ford, for being here with us, of course, and for Gren for hosting us today, and the amazing team you have assembled here. I think 350 some odd employees calling this place home. So it's great to be able to be here and celebrate with you all. And with that, to kind of make our official announcement, I'll turn it over to Minister Piccini. David, please. Thank you.
Thanks very much. Good morning, everyone, and thank you all for being here today. Thank you, Minister Harris, for that introduction. We've got an incredible team in this region who have been such champions of workers and ensuring talent pipelines. And of course, Minister Harris, MPPs Dixon and Riddell have been always on the horn, speaking with me, sharing stories, because that's what this is all about, real stories of workers. And, you know, to the chair and the mayor, thank you for being partners with us in this, and to AirBoss for hosting. This is my second or third time here, and I really appreciate the incredible job you do and your commitment to training your workforce and your commitment to excellence. AirBoss is a vital part of our manufacturing sector. It's companies like these that help make Ontario a leader, powered by a world-class workforce we're so proud of today. And supporting that workforce means preparing them for the future, especially at a time when we're facing all sorts of external threats. When 1 in 3 tradespeople are set to retire in the next decade, we've got to respond to the challenge. And I often reflect back, you know, as I visit places like this, at my own family story and my own grandfather who immigrated here, who was a steel worker. We were down with the steel workers last week in Hamilton. And this premier gets and has an incredible pride in our country and nationalism, and gets that to ensure that we achieve that same vision that he had, what drew him to this country, part of a nation that built things, where you could stand tall on the world stage with your Canadian flag and say we're a country that stands true to our international commitments, a country that produces the best talent. Now, I can't deal with things at the national level, but what Premier Ford can do is ensure provincially we're doing our part. And we've seen a nation builder in Premier Ford in making sure we can once again achieve that potential that my grandfather saw. And that's ensuring a talent pipeline, recognizing that through the pandemic, Premier took us through that, or the aggressions we see south of the border, where every day it seems policies are changing on the fly. But to respond to that, you need a nimble workforce. You need a workforce that is able to meet the moment, and to invest in talent and in training from K to Gray. Lifelong learning matters. And you know, I was on the radio this morning, a reporter said, talk is cheap, and they were responding to our action on labor mobility. It's this premier that moved as of right legislation so that prioritizing Canadian workers so that they can work freely around this country. It's crazy to think you'd be stuck at the border, invisible provincial border, for months for the engineers, the architects, and so many that we need. And it's this premier that's refusing that's acknowledging, I would say, not refusing, but acknowledging that investing in our workers means having their backs, means recognizing that despite our global challenges, we can and must train our next generation and invest in their training. And that's what our Skills Development Fund is doing. It's empowering a next generation. And you know, I heard the story of Dean from the CTMA this morning, and I want to mention that because this is coming full circle. This premier brought back skills training in high schools. We've mandated a tech class. We've brought back trades into high schools. We've invested in union training like none other in this province. And Dean, who's been employed in the Niagara region, just reached out to let Rob know that that tool and that precision tooling that he did on the CNC machine and that incredible work that we've supported them in doing has come full circle, because now he's employed with a local employer. And somewhere along the line, previous Liberal governments lost sight of that. They wanted to train a next generation of service workers, turning their backs on manufacturing workers of this province. Well, that's not this premier. We're going to make sure we train a next generation of manufacturing workers like Dean, who's now proudly employed, gainfully employed. And that's what we're going to do here at AirBoss. That new VR you heard, making sure our workers are well trained to thrive, not just succeed, but thrive on the global stage. Because, as the Premier's often said, it's a bet in our workers, and that's a bet I'll take any day, because we have the best workforce in the world. And there's nobody that better recognizes that than this Premier through his investment with the Skills Development Fund. And now for exciting announcement today as to what that means. 12 million. 50,000 workers. I'm pleased to introduce the Premier, Premier Doug Ford.
Thank you.
Well, first of all, thank you so much, David, and it's great to be here, and it's wonderful being back in the great city of Kitchener, alongside, as you just heard, Minister Piccini and Minister Harris and Brian Riddell and Jess Dixon and Mayor the Bear, or the Bear the Mayor, that's it. I love them. I actually do. We do. Actually, I do text them at 11 o'clock and midnight, telling them about someone's garbage that wasn't picked up and so on and so forth. And Chair Redmond, thank you so much for your leadership here as well in the Waterloo Region. And thank you, Gren. Thank you for being the Commander-in-Chief here. I had an opportunity to go through the facility during the election. It's spectacular. And we have to make sure that the federal government, the provincial government, municipal governments buy your products, no matter if it's defense or medical or whatever it might be. Also want to acknowledge Jack and Frank and Chris and the whole team at AirBoss for hosting us today. But Gren, my favorite people in the whole world are all these frontline people here, because without them, we wouldn't even be here. So thank you. Folks, this is a real serious time for our province and our country. President Trump is taking direct aim at our economy, targeting workers and businesses. That's why our government is doubling down on our plan to protect Ontario, so we can stand up to President Trump's tariffs and anything else that threatens our province for decades to come. Our plan to protect Ontario will make our province the most competitive, most resilient, most self-reliant economy in the G7. So we can attract new jobs and investment and protect our workers. You know, I always say, people need to hear hope, and we're going to give them hope. Last year, the foreign direct investment in our country, our province, I should say, just our province, not including companies that are here already, there was over 409 foreign companies from foreign countries came to invest $39.875 billion, so $40 billion, and created 25,000 jobs. But we have to create the environment and the conditions for companies to come here, and they thrive and prosper and grow. And when that happens, the people, a part of their team, will thrive, prosper, and grow. I've been over and over with the federal government. Let's create that climate. Let's start putting money back into the hard-working people's pocket instead of the government. Put it back into companies so they can buy new equipment and build the infrastructure they need and expand their technology. We're expanding our plan to build Ontario by investing more than $200 billion to build roads, highways, bridges, schools, hospitals, so we can keep workers on the job and get shovels in the ground on critical infrastructure projects, which is going to be happening here, which I'll get to in a minute. That includes some major projects in Waterloo Region. This summer, we announced an additional investment to support the planning and construction of a new Waterloo Regional Health Network hospital, which is part of our nearly $60 billion plan to build and upgrade more than 50 hospitals. Earlier this year, we celebrated, I should say, the completion of the Cambridge Memorial Hospital redevelopment. It's the largest redevelopment in the hospital's history, supported by $220 million provincial dollars investment. Sorry, $220 million of provincial investment. We're delivering on two-way all-day go service to Kitchener, and we're investing $4 billion in infrastructure to support new housing, including over $31 million in region of Waterloo to enable over 18,500 new homes. Sorry, folks, I got something caught there. You know, our plan to build more homes, and we're going to continue to focus on building more homes. I'm looking forward to visiting Mayor Barry and Mayor McCabe at their city halls to present them with the checks from the Building Faster Fund so we can get even more homes built in Waterloo Region by investing in infrastructure and getting these contracts out the door faster. We're supporting Ontario workers while using Ontario-made products in our plan to build. And that's just one part of our plan to protect workers. Last month, Minister Piccini and I also announced an investment of $70 million to support workers who have been laid off because of tariff disruptions or whose jobs are currently at risk. And across the province, we're investing $2.5 billion through the Skills Development Fund to support workers with job training to help them find good paying jobs. Today, I'm pleased to announce over $12.4 million for the Skills Development Fund to help train more than 50,000 workers, students for good paying in demand careers across Waterloo Region surrounding areas. This investment will support 10 projects in key sectors, including a project led by Canadian Tooling and Machining Association, deliver work placements for 80 participants. Another project led by Blue Branch to train 50 people in the modular housing industry. I'd want to thank all the incredible organizations that will be delivering these training programs, including Grand Valley Construction Association, Medical Innovation Exchange, Knowledge Hook, Delta Elevator Company, Advanced Millwrights Incorporation, International Brotherhood of Electrical Workers Local 804, which I see right over there, and the Christian Labour Association of Canada. All of you are helping us protect Ontario workers in this critical time. We have to continue using every tool in our toolbox to push back against President Trump's tariffs to protect our economy and continue building more competitive, more resilient economy. We will continue to invest in our province and protect Ontario workers and families no matter what comes our way. I want to thank everyone here, and may God bless the people of Ontario.
We will now take questions from the media. Media present can line up behind me and ask their questions through the microphone. As a friendly reminder, the format is one question and one follow-up. Please state your name and your outlet before your question.
Hi.
Hi there, Karis Mapp, CTV News.
Kara.
Welcome back to Kitchener.
Yeah, it's great to be here.
Jess Dixon spoke on it a little bit, but can you speak on to why Waterloo Region is so attractive for your government to invest funding such as this one, and hopefully in the future the same thing?
Well, that's great, and maybe I'm going to pass it to the mayor, maybe the chair, and one of our ministers. But I'll tell you the reason why. It's the quality of the people. It's the quality of the people, the work ethic of the people, the talent that is right here in the Waterloo Region. When we're out there and we're going out around the world, Minister Vic Fideli's traveling around the world. This is one of the key places that people want to invest. It all comes down to our people, and they've created the environment and the conditions for companies to come here to thrive and prosper and grow. So I'll hand it over to one of you. Who wants to be the salesperson here? There you go.
Well, thank you very much, Premier, and thanks for the question. I mean, obviously, this is a region that has a long history of thriving, a region that has a long history of being very resilient in terms of responding to changes in the economy, whether it's been manufacturing changes, whether it was changes in the technology sector, reinventing itself, and making sure that we continue to provide the jobs of the future that serve our community and allow it to continue to grow. I think one of the things that I would really focus on as well is our three post-secondary institutions, which are a critical part of that. University of Waterloo, Wilfrid Laurier University, and Conestoga College. Those are the institutions, together with many of the partners, that are actually allowing apprentices and others to develop their skills, that are stepping up and making sure that we're preparing young people for the jobs that are not only needed today, but those that are going to be needed in the future. And lastly, I'd be remiss if I didn't acknowledge the critical importance of partnerships with other orders of government. And the Premier and Minister Piccini and the government have been an excellent example of that in terms of working with us, finding the kinds of critical investments that are important to our community, and helping us continue to grow and thrive going forward. Thanks.
Thank you. And my follow-up is for Premier Ford. My follow-up, just before Christmas last year, you were pictured with a small business owner, Abdul Aleem Farouki. He was confirmed to be the victim of a home invasion on Saturday, and I was just wondering if you were aware of his murder, what you've heard about it, and your thoughts on the situation.
Well, my prayers and thoughts go out to the family, and my condolences to the Ahmadiyyan community, plus their entire family. It's heart-wrenching. I just got off the phone with the chief out there of York Region Police. They're using every resource they possibly can. And this innocent man got his doors kicked in the middle of the night. 4 people went in there, His 3 kids are there, his wife. Had a gun to one of the kids. He went to go protect them. And these scumbags shot him right in front of his kids. Shot him dead twice. Just imagine, what the trauma these kids are going to go through for the rest of their lives. And, I could tell you story after story about this, but we need to do something. I talked to the federal government over the weekend. Enough is enough. People are done with the crimes every single day. Innocent people are getting their doors kicked in by a bunch of thugs, a bunch of murderers, criminals, and you go to root cause. It's the weak criminal code that needs to be changed by the federal government. We're sick and tired of seeing these thugs get out on bail. And I watch when they catch these guys, I almost guarantee you they've been out on bail for another heinous crime, breaking into houses. This doesn't happen just once in a blue moon. This is happening multiple times a day, every single night across Toronto and the GTA area. These are people that are carjacking people. I heard in Shoppers Drug Mart on my riding happened twice. Two houses got broken into over the weekend. That's just in one small area, but this is happening all over the place. The chief told me a 12-year-old had a gun, shot someone. Like a 12-year-old. You got to be kidding. But this is the weak system the federal government needs to change. Bail reform. Rather than our judiciary system that has totally failed the people of Ontario, these weak-kneed judges that let these people out on bail not once, not twice, not 3 times, 4 and 5 times, just to go repeat the crime. There's no consequences at all for these people. It's absolutely sickening that Canada and Ontario is in this position. It's worse than the U.S. cities happening now. We need the criminal code to be changed on mandatory sentences. You go in with a gun, you shoot someone, obviously you should be getting life in jail, but if you don't shoot someone, you should be getting 25 years in jail. Any crime with an illegal gun. The federal government's more worried about going after legal hunters and gun owners than criminals. That's what they need to do, and the Young Offenders Act. These kids are 16 years old shooting people, there's no consequences. So we're going to change it. And then I'm going to add on to that. People are going to be the point. This is where society's gone, folks. They're defending themselves now. If you have a gun and you're a hunter and someone's coming into your house to kill your family, they're going to defend their family. And they should be exempt. Go to root cause. It's not them coming into the house. It's ridiculous. You know something? I have a saying for the folks that are defending their homes. I'd rather be judged by 12 than carried by 6. And unfortunately, my friend Aleem is going to be carried by 6 because he's trying to defend his family. It's a disaster right now in the justice system, and I'm going to be all over the federal government, just all over them. It's disgusting.
Good afternoon, Premier. Emily Taylor, CHCH News. I want to ask about the Garden City Skyway twinning project happening in Niagara Region right now.
Yes.
Can you guarantee that this will use Canadian steel in the construction?
Everywhere we can, we'll use Canadian steel, Ontario steel. Now, there's certain parts, if they can't get the steel here, which we're onshoring everything we possibly can, from those steel I-beams to you name it. I've met with the steel sector over and over again. I just got off a meeting with a national steel organization with Minister Freeland, and we're going to do everything we can to start onshoring every product we can, no matter if it's steel or aluminum cans or tins that we use. We're onshoring companies to start manufacturing here. We have to start protecting our sectors. And I'm going to get to another sector after I'm finished here with the questions. So we need to support each other. Do you know why I'm getting concerned, folks? I'm getting concerned. It's almost elbows down now. Everything's no, elbows up, fists up. We got to fight like hell, like we've never fought before, against President Trump, because he's coming. And we can't roll over. We have to still have that fight in us to make sure we use every single product that is made in Ontario. And if it's not made in Ontario, made in Canada, and we can't get in Canada, then we'll have no choice but to go outside.
This project is moving forward in the design phase right now. If these companies aren't going to be using Canadian or Ontario steel, I mean, will you pause this project until that's possible?
Well, we're going to make sure they are going to use any product that's made in Ontario, they're going to use that product. Anything that we do not make, then we're going to have to go elsewhere. That's what we're going to have to do. But I'm trying to do everything I can to onshore I-beams, for example.
Good afternoon, Premier Ford. Steve Cornwell from the Trillium.
Hey, Steve.
Just a question following up on reporting from the Trillium last week. There's a group, a developer group that's seeking $500 million in compensation over air rights that were expropriated by Metrolinx in Toronto, kind of related to GO train system upgrades. As far as we can tell, the group hasn't built anything there. They haven't closed the deal on these air rights. But do you think the government should be paying $500 million to this group?
Well, I don't get involved in disagreements. We have a lot of people that are going to be suing Ontario, suing Canada, so on and so forth. I don't get involved in that. We let the courts deal with that.
In 2018, your government did pass a bill to cancel wind farm contracts that I suppose there's some legal kind of consequences for canceling. Would you consider similar legislation to restrict payments like these?
Well, I don't know how you're comparing wind farms to some lawsuits, supposedly. But that was the biggest scam that the country's ever seen. Be it wind farms or the solar panels we're opening up now. But it increased the cost by 80%, the electricity. That was the disaster Kathleen Wynne created when all the electricity costs were going up. We're paying more for electricity. And then what would happen, they'd be calling their buddies up and saying, we're going to get solar panels in a field. Go buy 100 acres. They go and buy 100 acres. All of a sudden, they have a contract for 20 years, and we were paying 80% more than what we should have been paying. It was an absolute scam that I've never seen before on the backs of the ratepayers. So thank God we put an end to that.
Good afternoon, Premier Ford, Diego Pizarro, CBC. Pressure for meeting housing targets is on the shoulders of municipalities, but past permitting, there isn't much of the process that cities can control. What is your government doing to ensure that developers are able to follow through with creating new housing?
Well, again, we go back to creating the environment, working with the cities and Mayor Barry and other mayors across the region and the chair, Waterloo Region. You know, we've put a very attractive reward, if you want to call it, and when they hit their targets, they get cash. I think that's pretty good. We're putting billions of dollars into the infrastructure that is needed to build these homes, no matter if it's sewage pipes or water pipes. We're putting billions, unlike any other government has ever. But do you know what it is? It's a lot of uncertainty too. So all I'm saying to the federal government is 3 levels. We're doing everything we can, pouring billions of dollars. We need to get rid of that HST jointly, ourselves and the federal government, on any new home builds. That's huge for workers that want to buy a home. You knock off that amount of money, it comes up to over $100 and some odd thousand. That'd be great. Now, a lot of mayors don't like me saying this, but you got to get rid of the development charges, or at least cut them in half. Half a loaf is better than no loaf at all. That's what we have to do. And then the Bank of Canada, they have to lower the interest rates. And it's they can't just keep saying no, 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 no. They have to lower the interest rates. They have to show people that we're moving forward and getting things done. So I'm all over the Bank of Canada. Do you know what it is, folks? Some days I feel like I'm just going at these guys, but some days you feel like, are they listening or aren't they listening? Well, I won't stop until they listen and we see action. Enough of the talking. Let's start seeing action now. That's what we need.
We've heard from your education minister on school board trustees. How committed are you to getting rid of all public trustees before the next planned election year?
Well, we're going to review it. I talked to him over the weekend, actually, and the expenses that they're throwing through, number one, half of them don't even answer their calls. They usually go to the supervisor or whatever, but it's shambles. You talk to anyone about school boards, and you know who can't stand them the most? Talk to the teachers about school boards. Talk to parents about school boards. Talk to the parents that the group of school boards decided to be a great idea to go rent one of those hotels looking over the Blue Jays for, what was it, $30,000 on the back of taxpayers' money. Talk about the parents that the school board decided to go to Italy on a $120,000 junket to buy $100,000 of beautiful Italian artwork. You got to be kidding me. Or the expense that I just heard right now, we're running through their expenses and they're charging for a pack of gum. A pack of gum. It's staggering. They don't care. So anyways, we'll deal with them. We're going to hold accountable. They're going to be accountable, and they're going to start running the schools properly. They're going to start making sure they put money in the classroom. That's where we need it. We don't need these Taj Mahal school boards. We need it in the classroom. So Paul Calandra, my minister, is doing a great job, and he's going through all their expenses with a fine-tooth comb. And when this comes out publicly, people are going to fall off their chair when they see some of the stuff I just saw.
Premier Ford, Josh Gorey, 570 News Radio. I just want to take it back to today's announcement with the trade funding and the investment that your government is making. What is your message to those who may be looking at the trades but don't know what career they would want to get into? I know the minister had mentioned that 1 in 3 tradespeople over the next 10 years are going to be retiring, and obviously the province would need more tradespeople.
Before I pass to Minister Piccini, the trades are a beautiful thing. It's a job that you'll have, a trade that you'll have that no one could ever take off you. No matter if you're here, you move somewhere else, maybe one day you might want to start your own company up and expand and be the entrepreneur, but it's something that you'll have for the rest of your life. So I encourage anyone and everyone that may not want to go into different fields, that love the trades, get involved in the trades. It is so important. I'll pass it over to Minister Piccini.
Thanks, Premier, and thanks for the question. I think, one, it starts with creating the conditions. You heard $200 billion in infrastructure. I mean, you have to create a competitive climate for manufacturing, which we've done, attracting the investments. I mean, the most competitive thing that the Liberals would have done is pouring a cup of coffee. That was their sort of benchmark for a competitive economy. We're creating the conditions for manufacturing. We're building civil infrastructure, which our partners are getting done every day, and residential as well for housing construction. We've launched Level Up career fairs. These are the biggest career fairs. It's like on steroids. It's incredible. I encourage everyone to go. 45,000 youth went through last year. Many of the partners here, I see nodding their head, they're going to be at the Level Up career fairs. They're going to be launching and challenging youth. And what's exciting, I've incorporated both last year and in a big way this year, is evening sessions targeting parents. So I'll use an example. Last year we had one in Cobourg in my community, and the most common thing I heard from youth was, I've never tried this before. Everything's interactive, all of the booths they're trying. And then I heard from a mom later that day who messaged me and said, I got to see it in the evening. So it's tackling that stigma. In many respects, it's parents as well. You've got to convince parents. When you have the job in the trades, you've got a career for life. It's the lightest luggage. And this Premier, whether it's Level Up, whether it's tech classes in high school, bringing back shop class and bringing back the vital machinery, like the story I told you of Dean. We're getting that job done because it's an incredibly meaningful career, and that's what we're into promoting, careers. Thank you.
And just my follow-up question. Currently, there's a group at Queen's Park speaking out against your government's plan to bring police officers back into schools. The school district in Toronto ended their resource officer program years ago because students felt intimidated, targeted, or watched. In fact, there are studies that show police in schools disproportionately target Black, Indigenous, or racialized students. Why is your government ignoring that?
We aren't ignoring it. We have a massive problem in our schools, and the kids do feel safe. So I don't know who this group is, but let me tell you, I live in a very diverse community. Our family grew up in Rexdale. We support that community. And I can tell you, the mums, the grandmoms, the dads, they want their kids in school. When kids are out there and there may be people from outside the school that want to come in and try to hurt some of the students, we need the police there. The police are good people. They're family people. And I just can't stand people that knock our police. I love our police. And I think 99% of the people love our police. Those safety community officers, school officers, are going into those schools. Simple. Done.
This will be the last reporter.
Hello, Joe with The Record.
Hi, Joe.
So you spoke last week about the brazen LCBO robbery here in Kitchener that was caught on video. You had some choice words for the individuals involved. Can you speak to what the province can actually do to hold these people accountable, especially when they're caught on video?
Well, I talked to the chief, which is doing a great job here in the Waterloo Region, and they know who they are. They're going to track them down. They're going to hold them accountable, and they need to go to jail. They don't need a slap on the wrist. Just how brazen they are. They're coming in, stealing off the people of Ontario. The LCBO is the people's company. It's the people's money. And they want to come in just brazenly. So put a call into the LCBO. I'm going to ask them how much theft there is. And isn't it a sad situation? Say it's $2 million. You know, that's 20,000 hours that we could have an off-duty officer standing there. But isn't it sad that we have to have armed police at the LCBO? It's ridiculous. And all goes back to root cause. They're out on bail 4 or 5 times. They don't get sentenced. We have a bunch of weak-kneed judges. And by the way, all judges aren't that way. I've talked to judges. There's some quality, great judges. But there's a bunch of them that are terrible. They need to step down, actually, because they think after 4 or 5 times breaking into homes and stealing cars and going into LCBO and stealing off the people, it's all right. Let's give them a slap on the wrist and let them try it again. So I'm going to be all over this until we get proper justice for the people of Ontario.
And then with Kitchener and Waterloo in line to receive funding for meeting their housing targets, can you kind of speak to the move to count beds in nursing homes, student residences, and basement units in the overall target? Is this kind of a way to boost housing numbers?
Not at all. If you look at long-term care, they're homes. I'll never forget going in a long-term care home, and people used to call them beds, and I heard one person say a bed to a senior in there, and she almost hit him over the head with a frying pan, saying, "This isn't a bed. This is my home. This is where I live. This is part of my family. This is where I get up every morning." And so they're homes, and when they leave their condo or their home that they're in, that opens up a home for someone else. So they're actual homes. So are we all wrapped up now? Okay, so you know, we talk about companies, right? And I appreciate companies like AirBoss, which is incredible, and other companies here. But so the geniuses over at Diageo, okay, so not everyone knows what Diageo is, but everyone knows what Crown Royal is. Now, Amherstburg, beautiful town, hardworking people. They had that plant there. They started, I did the research, went all the way back to the 1920s. Approximately about 180 people. In the summer, it spikes to 200 people they employ. This town relies on this company, and they produce this Crown Royal. They're fabulous people. I talked to Unifor, Lana Payne over the weekend. These people are devastated. In a small town, you get rid of 180 people. And these are the rocket scientists over at Diageo. So they're based in France, and I can picture this all going down. And by the way, I spoke to the gentleman that runs the North American operations. And I said, how can you do this to your largest customer in Ontario? I said, is there any incentives I can give you to stay here to save these jobs? No, it's not happening. I said, so it is what it is. And he went on to say, well, you aren't the largest in Ontario or in the country. LCBO is the largest customer in North America. More than California, more than Texas, more than all of them. LCBO, the people of Ontario, have made Crown Royal, Diageo, that has Smirnoff's, a whole bunch of other stuff, the largest. So can you imagine a board, right, sitting around, or even a kitchen table? Are you ready for this, guys? They're sitting around and said, okay, how's South America doing? They're doing okay. How's Europe? Yeah. How's North America? Okay, everything's good. Oh, let's target our largest customer. Who targets their largest customer? To put it in perspective, $740 million, $750 million. The people of Ontario support this company. And their payroll is 16, maybe $17 million. So you're jeopardizing $740 million worth of business For what, $17 million, and you're going to hurt a community? You're going to make these people struggle that they can't pay rent? They aren't going to pay a mortgage? They barely put food on the table when there's not too many companies in that small town? What, have you lost your mind? Like, I think they're a few fries short of a Happy Meal, these people. They're sitting around absolutely just smug as they come. They're hurting Ontario residents, they're hurting the people that work at Crown Royal. So you know something, a message to the CEO in France, you hurt my people, I'm going to hurt you. You're going to feel the pain in February when these people don't have a paycheck. And I'm going to stand up for the people of Ontario, and I encourage all of Canadians, all of Ontarians, stand up for the people, because you don't know if you're next. But the thing that ticks me off, I get it. I get that companies move back and forth, but what I don't get, when you're someone's largest customer in North America, you're going after the largest customer. You know something? I always say smart people aren't too smart, and you guys are about as dumb as a bag of hammers for doing this. So, you know something? I found a bottle, and I don't even drink, of Crown Royal, right? I see that Crown Royal. I saw it at home. So this is what I think about Crown Royal. That's what they could do. And I think everyone else should do the same thing. Start supporting companies that make whiskey here by Ontario people. That's what we need to do, is support each other. You know something? I'm going to make this even come out quicker, because it's not coming out. I know Mayor Barry wants to lie on the floor right now with his mouth open. No thanks. But no, I wish I could get this out coming out quicker, but I'll stand here until it's all done. Anyways, folks, thank you. My brothers and sisters and Unit 4 over at Crown Royal, I got your backs. We're going to be there to help you. And by the way, I'm going to send you the cleaning bill to Crown Royal too. Anyways, folks, that's it. This might take a little while.
Swirl it like a tornado, boss.
Oh, you know what to do then. Here, you want a shot? Go ahead. There you go.
You got a whole bunch of guys there that'll help you.
Yeah, I know. So, anyways, that's how I feel.
That's okay. Send some messages. Yeah.